Alright, well I got the 68 Super 12 in here. It hadn't been running that good. I don't know if something in the carburetor got messed up. I'm gonna pull the plug. I'm pretty sure this thing had pretty low compression last time I checked it. I've got another motor I can put in it if I need to. I don't know if you can see that, it's pretty sooted up. I put a brand new plug in it when I first got it running. Doesn't look too terrible, but there is some oil built up on it. I know it burns oil. This motor is definitely going to need a rebuild, but if I can get around to running it for a little bit longer. I'm pretty sure I did a wet test on it after I tested it last time and it came up, so the rings are bad. Which kind of explains the oil burning on the plug. I put a spark tester on it. I'm pretty sure it has pretty good spark. It was just one of those light bulb styles. I have this style spark tester too. I might try to see if it's got good spark. I think it's originally a points motor. I don't see any wires coming out of the points cover, so I think somebody put the newer style solid state on it. I don't even know if it's the original motor or not. I'm not familiar enough to know if the 68s had points motors. I know the 67s did, but normally you're supposed to do this hot, but I mean, that's really not hateful. It might be something with the carburetor, or it's getting intermittent no good spark or weak spark. I don't remember it ever being up 150. That's plenty enough for this little motor to run. Might not be ideal, but I never really looked up the compression specs for it, but that's enough to where I think it shouldn't be in effect. Might try cleaning up this plug before I pull the carb off. And I'll put that spark tester on it real quick, see if it will jump a far gap. That's a pretty big gap. I don't know if this is going to have enough spark to jump that far or not. Somewhere good to ground it. It's not big enough to go around head bolts. Maybe it's a bracket here. It's got good compression, at least good enough. Spark's not jumping that though, I don't think. Close it up a little bit. It's only a fucking lawnmower, garden tractor. Looks like it's got good spark. It wouldn't jump real far, but I don't know how far these things should usually jump, or how good of a ground I actually have there. I'm gonna turn this off and clean that plug up and throw the plug in and see how it runs. Because I've never had problems getting it running, but the last couple times I cranked and cranked and cranked and cranked and had to mess with the carb to get it to stay running. I'm gonna clean this plug up and then I'll turn it back on. Alright, I got the plug cleaned up. I have one of those spark plug sandblasters. Let's see what kind of sparks actually coming out of the plug. It's like hot blue spark. This carburetor might just be messed up. Hopefully this plug fixes it and I can just adjust the carburetor. The carburetor might be all out of whack because I've been messing with it, but see what happens. Get spark or fuel down there. Alright, well that seems to help because last time I cranked and cranked and cranked and cranked, finally got it to run. I had to pull it outside. I got the air on in here, it's hot as hell outside. I had to pull it outside and start fine-tuning the carb a little bit, but hopefully that'll fix this problem. This thing's always been down on power a little bit, I think, but I was pretty impressed. I dug a ditch out there for water using the potato plow. It came a downpour and it was starting to flood in the garage, so I went out there in the rain with this. This is the only tractor I had that was ready with a 3-point and all, and it had enough power to pull that potato plow. Granted, it's mostly sand out here, so wasn't like it was pulling through a whole lot of tough soil, but I'll go out and tune on it a little bit and I'll turn the camera back on once I get it running a little bit better. The motor's got a little bit of a ticking knock to it. I think when I had the head off, the cylinder walls didn't look too bad, but I think there was one little score mark. This is the first one I got, and I was not prepared with parts when I put it together, or else I would have probably switched the motors. When I got it, it didn't come with an exhaust, and I just hand tightened this in there, and it went to pull it off to paint the exhaust, and then it broke the fucking part of the block off. So this is how I got it threaded in there. That's why it points up. Of course, it blows all the exhaust in your face. I just put some RTV around it and got it to tighten up like that, so I'm never pulling that exhaust off unless this motor's complete junk. Because I have one under the workbench that Looks pretty good inside. It actually came off the 67 Super 12 I have. Alright, well, I got my SS14 in here. I'm getting ready to pull the wheels and tires off of it and put it on my 68 Super 12. That's originally what they were on, because I think I'm going to sell this thing. I might pull the plow off, I might pull the 3-point off. Alright, well, I got the wheels and tires all swapped over, and I pulled the plow off the SS14. Got everything put on the 68. All this stuff was originally on it, but I was going to sell the 68, and that one ran better, so I was going to put it on this, but I don't need it now. So she's going to go bye-bye. I have the center link for the 3-point hitch somewhere. I just got to find it. I'm only selling it with the 3-point if I get what I want for it. If I don't, I'll pull the 3-point off. I have an old style mower deck I'll probably sell with it if somebody wants it. Overall, it's pretty decent. It really needs a new blower shroud. The bottom of it's rotten out. Either that or you could just patch it. I was thinking about patching it, but I just never got around to doing it. Overall, it's not too bad. Changed the oil in it. This is a little braked up, but it still works. I've had to tighten the belt once. I put new choke and throttle cables on it. The guy I got it from put a new carb on it, a Chinese carb. Overall, it's not a bad tractor. The only reason I want to sell it is, one, I'm not using it that much as I thought I was going to. And this is pretty much the same thing when it's going to be done. I can't read the number, the model number, but I'm pretty sure this is a early model SS14, like the other one I have that has the wood grain and all that. But I've just never been able to see it good enough to verify. Because when I first got it and cleaned it up, it looked like it didn't have the newer style decal on the front. It looked like it was the dark blue. It's kind of faded now, but anyway, I'm going to list this up for sale. Try to find that other center link, whatever I did with it. I still got to push this outside and fine tune the carb on it. The only thing I don't like about this seat on there is this seat springs lean forward, so it's kind of a little bit uncomfortable with this style pan seat. I did have the transmission out, and if I would have known the seat was this bad and I have some springs that are better, I probably would have pulled it, but I know those bolts are going to break and I'm going to have to drop the transmission down to get to them, put new ones in. So I think it's good enough for now. And I just took it out, put it in the truck, but took the torch and bent up a new rod for the end of my sickle bar because it broke. So I got that made, just heated it up with the torch and put it on. Alright, I'm going to get off here and take some pictures of this thing and try to find that center link.